Hello, friends. So today let's talk about altmetric. Now that is another attention score which researchers use, and it is slightly different from the ones which I discussed previously in my last video. That is ORCID, Google Scholar, and ResearchGate. So how altmetric attention score is different from the ones I discussed before. Uh, I will explain that using a couple of examples of the articles of mine which were published in the last 4 or 5 years. Now, not every journal would use altmetric. So again, it depends on where you've published and whether they're using altmetric or not. Otherwise, you can yourself register to altmetric. You can go to their website and you can register. So that is another way of getting the altmetric attention score. However, there are journals where they use the altmetric. So I'm going to share a couple of articles of mine where altmetric was used. I will share this article. This was published in 2023 of mine. So usually what happens is, like any article is published, you get an option of metrics. You click on it, and that's where you get in this journal they show the altmetric score, attention score. So this was published 2 years ago, and as you can see, the graph here keeps on increasing. So that is very reassuring that the views are increasing. The other thing you look at is the altmetric attention score. Now you click on it for more details, and then you will get an idea of what exactly this means. So, and what does altmetric cover? So usually the perception is that a particular article is judged based on the number of citations, but that may not be the case. Sometimes it is about the kind of traction it is getting in terms of its attention on social media or in news or other means. And this is what altmetric grabs your attention towards. So as you can see, there is a summary here, and what that means is it's the average attention score compared to the outputs of same age, that is articles published at that time. If you click on X, it will also show where this article was mentioned. This also shows where this particular article was used on YouTube. Now, basically, this is one of my YouTube videos, but the altmetric does capture this. Now, if you look at the dimensions of citations, now that is where I think you don't get an accurate picture when it comes to altmetric. This article has had more citations, but it only shows one over here. So that is something which maybe Google Scholar is more accurate. The other things you can look is mentioned by one user, that was X, so that was on previously called Twitter, the YouTube, citations. The other thing which is interesting here is readers on Mendeley. Now Mendeley is another portal for citations, for article search, and to keep a record of the articles you've read. So it's a very useful tool for researchers. Now, altmetric shows number of readers on Mendeley who have accessed this article, which you don't get from other portals like Google Scholar or ResearchGate or ORCID. Now, if you look at the attention score, this is kind of similar to the research interest score you get on ResearchGate. Now, there is a slight difference there. On ResearchGate, it is about how many researchers are following the article, how many have cited, and how many have recommended. and all. So it is basically seen only by mostly by researchers. However, if you look at the altmetric attention score, it is not only relevant to researchers, even others, um, where how this particular piece of work has generated outside the dimensions of research. Now, I will give you another example of one of my published articles which has a better altmetric attention score. So it is this article which was published in 2021. Now, as you can see, this was published in 2023, so it's over 2 years. So it is still too early to make any assumption about how how much is the level of attention or interest among readers on this article. Now, this article of mine was published in 2021, November 2021. So it is good 3 to 4 years now. So now, if I click on metrics, this is what I get: an altmetric attention score of 79. So the previous article of mine had an altmetric attention score of 2, but that was published in 2023. This was published in later 2021, and this has an attention score of 79. Now, how this has happened? So if I click on more details, and this is where it gives you a bigger picture of what exactly has been happening. So as you can see, mentioned by 9 news outlets. So like this was mentioned. So again, if you want to know more about it, you click on it and it gives you data. So where this was all mentioned, right? Where, how many times was it mentioned on Twitter? So as you can see, it has gained some traction on Twitter as well. Again, this was mentioned on Wikipedia as well. So again, this is something which you don't get in any other research scores. In altmetric attention, it gives you a wider reach. So this article of mine was also mentioned on Wikipedia. Then YouTube mentioned, again, this is one of my videos where I used this article as an example for research data analysis, but the altmetric can capture that as well. And then you look at the dimension citations. Now here it shows that it was cited 4 times, but I think it's a lot more than that. And the Google Scholar gives a more accurate picture. If you want to see, check the summary. So 9 news outlets have used this work. 10 users. Now that is the Twitter, or the previously called Twitter and current X users. This was also mentioned on Wikipedia. This was also used by a YouTube creator, that's me. And if you look at the Mendeley data here, so 26 Mendeley readers or users have used this article for their work. If you look at the color, this color coding is also relevant here. So this, if you look at the over, this logo here, so there is a meaning behind, the colors used. So as you can see, the red is news outlet, right? The blue is the Twitter. And then as you can see, this shade, I don't know whether it's gray or black, but this is Wikipedia, right? And then as you can see, that's YouTube. So again, these color codes, there is a reason why, it is there. This particular piece of work of mine is in the top 5% of all research outputs scored by Altmetric. So again, it's not only about this particular journal, but like whatever articles are included in Altmetric, this article of mine is in the top 5% of all the research outputs. So again, this is quite impressive. Now, if you look at the attention score in context, again, it's about, you digging deep and exploring this. The more you look into this, the more data you get. So the total number of research outputs, which this particular work has had, is this number out of the total. right? Outputs from this journal, it's number 16 out of the 805. So that is again pretty impressive, top 20. Uh, and outputs of similar age, so like during this time, the other articles, how much interest it has generated. So you're comparing it with that. And then the outputs of similar age from this journal, it's number one of the 10 outputs. So again, it shows you a lot where your article stands, and if you look at these numbers, it looks very impressive, isn't it? So this gives you an idea where your particular work stands. uh, so and then if you look at the Mendeley readers, again, this gives you a bit of geography of or demographics of who is watching, from where, and what is, or what background of researchers or reviewers or readers this article is generating some interest. So as you can see, this gives you a lot of idea of discipline, and this is also, you can also get this data from ResearchGate as well. If you look at the timeline, let's see what the timeline shows. So as you can see, it shows the article, the number, the attention over time. So it has kind of increased, uh, since it was published. So that's kind of impressive. It's going up, and again, this graph tells you a lot about whether it is about the news, or whether it is Twitter, whether it is citations, whether it is the YouTube. So again, the more you look into this, the more data you can get. Now, if I quickly compare this with my previous article, so let's have a look at the summary here, and then let's have a look at the attention score in context. So this is this is the level where this is out of 801 outputs. This article stands at 598, and then out of similar age from this British Journal of Psychiatry Advances, it is at number 13 of the 15 outputs, and this one showed one of the 10 outputs. So this gives you an idea of how your research is being used and how much interest it is generating. So at the end of the day, it is not about the citations. It is about the number of readers, the background of the readers. It is just, are they only reading through this, or is this being reflected in terms of this particular article being discussed on news, on Twitter, in Wikipedia, or on YouTube. So again, it gives you a broader dimension here. So this was a brief overview on Altmetric, and the Altmetric attention score, and how it is different from ORCID, Google Scholar, and ResearchGate. I hope this was useful. Thank you very much for your time. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.